Well, hello everyone and welcome to Yorkshire Gamer, and I'm going to do a series of short videos in relation to my 1/700th scale World War II project. I'm going to do a number of them, around 5-10 minutes tops long, just on individual parts of the project. And the first one I'm going to do for you is part one of Build the Bismarck. Now, this isn't one of those pay £2.99 for the first magazine and then £7.99 for the rest of your life, and you get 2 rivets per issue. This is going to be a brief overview. I'm not going to show you all the building, one of those ones where they speed everything up and put it all together. This isn't a modelling channel, this is a wargaming channel, but I just want to show somebody the process of getting one of these big, and they are big, models onto the table. So this is the kit I'm going to use. Revel 1/700th Bismarck. There is a schoolboy error with this kit that I'll point out to you in a minute. But let's just get the box out, unbox, and have a look what we've got in here. So inside the box, the first thing that we've got is the instructions, and it's quite a detailed pamphlet. This is a big and detailed model. Some of the Tamiya models are considerably easier to do, and I'll do a run through of one of those as well during the course of this series of videos. And in the Revel kits, in the booklets, you get a black and white, which I'd rather have colour, but a black and white paint guide, which is lovely. So we should be working our way through that. There is a set of decals. There's the long thin black lines on there, which I will more than likely do with masking and airbrush. So we've got those. Then we've got the sprues themselves. The main parts of the ship are already built, and I'm going to show you those in a minute. But these are the stuff that you get from Revel. Relatively small parts, fine parts as well that you need to be careful when cutting off. But this is the joy of doing one of these ships. They are time consuming. They are a prime example of the deferred pleasure principle, i.e. it takes you a while to build them, but when you do build them, boy, do they look good. And then there's another bag with a load of smaller sprues on, and I'm not going to go through all of them, but you can see there you've got turrets, and on this one we've got turret bases, etc. So we've got all that lot to put together, which, as I say, is quite time consuming, but there's something to consider first before we even start making the kit. So the thing that we need to consider with wargaming is a base. I'm not going to go into debate about why base or should you base for ships, etc. I base them because these kits take me forever to make, and I want to give them a bit of protection. So with the set of rules I have my own World War II naval rules that have been around for 25 years plus, so I ain't changing them. Each class of ship, so capital ships, heavy cruisers, light cruisers, destroyers, merchants, etc., have their own base size, and there's nothing technical about ground scales or any of that rubbish. It's basically the base is the biggest ship in that class. So the biggest, longest ship, a capital ship, would be HMS Hood. So that's determined the size of this base, which, as you can see, with my hand for scale and the Vallejo pots in the background, this is 42 centimetres by 10 in French money. I don't know what that is in glorious imperial measurements, but 420 millimetres by 100. And I've spoken to all bases. They can do these, but they would need to be picked up at a show or sent by courier. So for the small number of large ships that I've got on the go at the moment, I've just decided to cut this one myself. So the edges aren't perfect, but there we go. And just in case I forgot, with a ginormous ship on the back of it, that it was Bismarck, I've written it on the back just to remind myself. So there we go. I'm still going to work on that, but just to show you a smaller one, another work in progress. Warping is an issue with something that big. So first thing to do, as you can see with this destroyer base that I've done, is to score the back of it. I score it in both ways diagonally. I found that helps massively to stop warping. Some people put a thin coat of PVA on. I've found with the process that I'm using that I don't have to do that yet, and I'm going to cover basing in the next episode. And then generally with waterline ships you will get a waterline base, which is what this is for Z37, which is a destroyer I'm building at the moment, and I would put that on the base, and again that helps to strengthen it. See, there's slight bend in that, and that's been underweight as well, but I'll talk about basing in the next one. So that is the base ready to go, and I'll just then talk finally in this quick video about the construction process and where I am with that. So here is the hull of the Bismarck, and the schoolboy error that I made with this ship is that I didn't buy a waterline ship. I bought apologies for the shake there, I bought a full hull ship, so I have had to rather agriculturally cut the base off. You can see a couple of bits there, so just remember to buy a waterline ship is the best way of thinking it. So normally there would be a base that would sit on there. I haven't got that, so I'm going to have to, and it's not difficult, I'm just going to have to fill the gap in with plaster and waves and stuff. So Bismarck is going to be going through particularly stormy seas. So what I'm doing when I'm going to put this kit together, and as I say, I'm not going to show you, piece by piece. I am building them up in sections, and that's to make it easier to paint. And when we come onto the painting and priming process, this will all become clear. So what I'm doing is I'm just building up little sections that are independent from each other. So I've built up, I've not done a lot of this shit, but you'll be able to soon tell that it's starting to look like Bismarck. So build that, put that on there. I'm not gluing it down because it's going to be easier for me to paint and do effects on the side of this ship without it being on the base, because the effects will run onto the wood decking that I've already spent ages doing. I've done a little piece of rear superstructure which fits there, and then to get the Bismarck look I have done the start of the front bridge and the funnel. So there we go. So that is Bismarck as she stands at the moment, and in the next video that I'm going to do in a few days, a week's time, I am going to go back and have a look at the basing as I do that process, and further as I continue the build. So I hope you've enjoyed that. God knows how many parts this will be, but we're going to go through from this very opening the box, getting onto the MDF to the ready to fight on the table battleship. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.